Breaking news in the NFL. Justin Tucker, the kicker of the Baltimore Ravens, has signed a 4-year extension, making him the highest paid kicker in the National Football League. Last week, we started our 2022 NFL season previews, breaking down the AFC South and the AFC North divisions. Tonight, we continue our coverage of the AFC Conference as we preview the AFC East and the AFC West divisions. It's showtime. From the gridiron to the court, talking all that is sport. Representing a busted up a nation, brings to you our Nation Sports Show. Here are your hosts, Ezra Vickery, Joey Thornton, Kevin Rory, Randy Giron, and Stephen Wyand.
All right, here we go, folks. We are live and we have a full crew in the house. It is our Nation Sports Show. What's going on, everybody? I'm Ezra Vickery, and of course, we got the crew with us, which we'll introduce in just a second. But now let's get right into what we need to talk about first, and that is, of course, the ways you can interact with us and follow us. You can follow us, of course, right here on YouTube right now as we are live. YouTube.com/Our Nation Sports Show. Follow us there. Of course, like, subscribe, share, all the good stuff. Interact in the comments as we talk about all the latest happening in the wonderful world of sports. Don't forget also to follow us at YouTube or Twitter.com/Owen_Sports Show, Instagram.com/Our Nation Sports Show, and Facebook.com/Our Nation Sports Show. Don't forget to follow also the Nation's Corner on all their socials at Nation's Corner and The Nation's Corner, Discord.gg/Nation's Corner, and check out their show, wrestling theme show, of course, our partners, on Saturdays, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, on their YouTube channel as well. And of course, follow my group at Too Sweet Cosplay on all of my socials on there. Of course, we just got back from C2E2 weekend, which was awesome. Thank you to everybody who came out for that. We appreciate it. But right now, we got sports to talk about. We got plenty to do so. Let's get right into it. Let's introduce the full house here tonight. And of course, with us, we got to start off with the man who nicknamed himself Cliff Branch. Of course. Hall
of Famer Cliff Branch.
Yes, he's a fan of Cliff Branch. Of course, this past week was the Hall of Fame game, and we'll be talking about that a little bit as well. But here he is, the one, the only Randy Giron. Randy, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Hope everyone's having a great Tuesday. Just happy to be here as always. Thanks for having me, and let's have a great show.
Absolutely. And we got with us here our good old buddy, man, who rolls with the Roll Tide all the time and rolls with the Braves. But we won't talk about that we won't talk about that 1-4 game against the Mets. We will not say nothing about that. But well, actually we might. The one, the only JT, Joseph Thornton. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Hope everybody's having a great Tuesday. I've been waiting for this show all week because of all the stuff we got to talk about. And as far as the Braves are concerned, guys, y'all need to step up y'all's game. I mean, I know we got a great team, but the Mets aren't the best team since sliced bread right now. 1-4 in a 5-game series. Please give me a fucking break. But anyways, let's go.
Don't worry, your Braves got plenty of chance to make some noise in the division. We'll definitely have a little bit of a discussion based on MLB divisions as we get closer to the end of the season, but there's still time for that. But of course, we got to welcome back to the show after a couple weeks off, the man himself, the man whose San Francisco 49ers are looking stronger now that their boy Debo is back and ready to roll. The one, the only, Kevin Rory. What's going on, buddy?
What's going on, everybody out there? Hope everybody's having a great Tuesday and a great start to the week. And boy, it's good to be back. I miss talking sports and especially the new football season coming up. And, man, I'm ready for this AFC West and AFC East preview. Let's do it.
Yes, definitely. We're going to get to that at the start of the show here in just a moment. But, of course, we can't have the show without the matriarch of this fucking show. The man who has put in more time than Metallica has put on studio records. the man whose show is longer than Master of Puppets is the one, the only, Stephen Wyand. Stephen, what's going on, brother?
And the man that shows up on time, unlike Ben Simmons, doesn't show up for the rest of the playoffs of the Nets' life in Game 4. Randy's here on time, unlike Ben Simmons was in Game 4. Anyways, what's going on, everybody? And we are here to talk about the world of sports. And it's gonna be absolutely fantastic talking about the NFL and continuing our coverage of this year's upcoming season and talking about the shenanigans of one Kevin Durant at some point during tonight's show. So with that being said, let's go.
Yeah. Anyways, real quick. Also, I want to say about Randy. Randy's here on time. Yes, he's more on time. He's actually here unlike Ben Simmons. But hopefully he doesn't leave the show 4 minutes early like LeBron does.
True that.
And also, here's the thing. Randy moves the needle where Kyrie Irving moves away from a needle. But I digress.
That's right.
Anyways, let's get into it, folks. We got a lot to talk about. Let's get into the AFC East and AFC West previews. I love doing this with you guys, and it's going to be awesome. Let me pull up. Of course, we're going to talk about the AFC East first. Let's get right into it. Of course, we got with us on this team. We got, of course, the New England Patriots, the Buffalo Bills, the Miami Dolphins, and the New York Jets. That is your AFC East. You know what? Let's kick it off with our boy Kevin here. What are your thoughts on this division, and who do you see as the favorite to take this division this year?
Well, this division is finally got the power that it deserves because now it was considered a weak division, especially the last couple years. And now it's finally looks like it's gaining some recognition because of some big new moves that they made down there in South Beach in Miami. And you see what Bill Belichick is still doing with a young Mac Jones, and you see what kind of star-studded team that the Buffalo Bills have. But in my eyes, I know it's going to be a tough division, and I don't want to make it seem like it's going to be a cakewalk, but I think you got to say Buffalo's the clear-cut favorite to win the division. You've seen how well they basically destroyed New England in that playoff game. Like, they essentially got tired of playing with them, and they just went ahead and took them out. And when I look at the offseason moves, Buffalo did more than New England did by the fact of gaining now Super Bowl champion Von Miller. Add them to that already top 5 defense they have with a returning Tre'Davious White, who is number 3 in NFL in, like, I think completion percentage by a cornerback. Like, he's allowing the lowest completion percentage in any kind of coverage out of any cornerback. He's 3rd. So you bring him back to a team with 2 Pro Bowl caliber safeties, a good middle linebacker, and then you got a great defense, and not to mention, some would already consider him to the same level of Patrick Mahomes, but Josh Allen, my God, man, if it wasn't for the coin toss and if it wasn't for his fucking defense giving up 13 seconds of shame, they would have been in the AFC title game last year against the Bengals. And who knows, with that defense, they might have would have represented the AFC in the Super Bowl. So I got Buffalo winning that division. I know the nation actually predicted them to win 15 games, which is absolutely crazy because I don't think they're consistent. Not yet, because of what I seen last year when they lost to the fucking Jaguars. Holy shit. That just shows they're not consistent, but they do have potential to win that many games. I don't think they do. I think they finished first, but I'm going to give them, at best, I give them 13 wins. At worst, I give them 11 to 12. I think they're the clear-cut favorites to win that division, and I'll go ahead and make my prediction right now. I'm going to say I think Buffalo will represent the AFC in the Super Bowl come next February. I'm going to go ahead off topic since we're talking about that division, and that's my prediction, my early prediction. I might eat my words, but I am someone who will eat my own words if my take is wrong. I'm going to say Buffalo in the Super Bowl. Josh Allen is a top 3 quarterback in this league with Patrick Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers by far. And then not to mention they added my boy Jamison Crowder, a good slot receiver, to the other dynamic amount of weapons that they have. It's just overpowered. And here's my debacle with this second and third place. You might call me crazy, but this is just my opinion. I think Miami might give New England a run for their money for second place. The reason I say that is, yes, you got Tyreek Hill. Jalen Waddle was a star. The only question to the offense is what the fuck is Tua going to do? You know, he goes by the nickname of Tua Turn the Ball Over instead of Tua Tagovailoa. We call him Tua Turn the Ball Over because that's what he does. Yep. But look who the head coach is. The guy who was the offensive coordinator for San Francisco, who was scared to let Jimmy throw deep. So you know what we did with him in San Francisco? Short, check down routes, slant routes, run scheme. He is under Kyle Shanahan, so he knows that offense. If he can somehow get the ball to Tyreek Hill in space, get the ball to Jalen Waddle in space, Tua might not be that much of a liability for this team. And the Miami, who already had a pretty solid defense, I think they could give New England a run for their money, seeing as New England, they lost one of the best corners in the game in J.C. Jackson. Let's not forget that. Then their free safety, all-pro free safety, once upon his day, Devin McCourty retired. So what does New England's secondary look like? I don't know. And I think that Tyreek Hill can take the top off of their secondary. So I think it's going to be a tie for second place in the AFC East. I think New England and Miami both go either 9-8 or 10-7. I think they both got potential to do that. I don't know what we're going to see from Mac Jones in year 2. You know how that goes, sophomore slump. You never know what's going to happen. You got to take that into account. But then let's talk about the Cougar Hunter himself, Zach Wilson. Boy. Well, he better be lucky because this New York Jets season, I love Robert Saleh. All due respect, my man. Great defensive guy.
This is the most coverage the Jets have gotten in the past offseason than they ever have in the past 10 years.
Hell, it's the only time he scored 40 since the last 3 years in New York Jets franchise history. I mean, Jesus. And you know what? Let's just be on the record here. That'll be the only time they score 40 in the upcoming season if you don't watch Your Mom's Best Friend with Zach Wilson, because then he's going to score 40 again. Hey-o! As far as throwing the ball, God help him. I get what Robert Saleh and the company was trying to do. I get what they're trying to do. They were trying to give him an offensive line, but, and I don't know if it's a part of the NFL news that Ezra's going to talk about, but today it just broke that their all-pro left tackle, Mekhi Beckham, is out for the rest of the season already with a fractured kneecap. There goes your offensive lineman you paid big money to. And I hate to say it, but Laken Tomlinson, who was formerly our 49ers left guard, you overpaid for his dumb ass, because if it wasn't for Trent Williams, he would have been exposed for 2 years in a row. So congratulations, Jets. But you know what? I like Sauce Gardner. I like what they're doing defensively. However, I don't think they score more than 10 points a game while giving up maybe only 13 a game. But hey, the Jets will win 4 games, maybe 3.
Oh, you're being so generous, Kevin.
Hell, maybe 2. They win that. I didn't check their schedule. Don't get me wrong, but if they play the NFC South, they'll win at least 3 of those damn games.
They better,
they'll
especially
beat
against
the Panthers and the Falcons. So I'll give them 3 wins to be fair.
Is it bad that Zach Wilson scores more off the field than he does on the field?
Yeah, that's pretty awful. Yeah, the Jets are just going to go 3. I'm going to say 3 and 14. Holy shit, they're going to suck.
Well, there was one thing, Kevin, you did miss on the additions to the Buffalo Bills. You forgot they have a new offensive coordinator too now. Ken Dorsey is taking over for Dable, who's no longer a part of the team. It was a big hurt for Buffalo to lose him. However, from what I'm reading and from what I read just a few minutes ago, I think that Dorsey's going to do fine in his position as an offensive coordinator. I don't think it's really going to change much. I think he's just got to adjust to the playing style that Buffalo does. So outside of that, I don't think there's going to be really much of a contest. Buffalo leads that division easily. And then, like you said, it's going to be a coin flip between. I agree with you on the fact that it could be a coin flip between Miami and New England. It just depends on. It depends on can New England stay consistent and can Tua stop turning the ball over. That's going to be the question. We'll see.
And Kevin, you bring up,
of course, the Jets are dead last. Who would have thought? Who would have thought they would have been anything above dead last?
And speaking of the Jets, I just looked at the schedule. They played the NFC East and the AFC North this year.
L's everywhere. But I'm glad you mentioned that about. Hey, listen, I'm glad you mentioned that about the coin flip, Ezra. I know Josh Allen's happy you said it went between Buffalo and them because Josh Allen might lose that coin flip. Good thing he's a clear-cut favorite in this case. He might lose the coin toss again.
Yes, actually, just to clarify, I looked up the schedule myself, and it is the AFC South and the NFC North. Wait. The AFC North and the NFC North.
So they got to take on Green Bay, huh?
Yeah, they got to take on Green Bay and Minnesota.
Well, L.
The only difference is they're catching L's where it's cold as fuck. Good job. Congratulations, New York. You don't even get to be comfortable taking a loss.
All right. Let's see. You know what? Randy, you're up, bud.
Hey, yeah. I agree with everything Kevin was saying. That's all I got. No. I think I agree with the Jets. The Jets, of course. I mean, give me a break. And any chance of them having any type of better season, unfortunately, went down. May have gone away with losing that they're all pro lineman today. So that's a foregone conclusion there. But as far as Miami goes, I mean, they just added everything. Everything you could possibly want. They have. It's kind of hard to even gauge. I mean, with new system, new coach. I mean, Tyreek Hill. I mean, he's just gonna be Tyreek Hill if they are smart and get him the ball. But I think Miami's defense may take the edge in New England. Because I agree with Kevin, you guys, that they'll be neck and neck. I mean, but Miami has a solid defense every year, and I think it kind of goes under the radar. Every time I watch, as having to catch them, they talk about how good their defense is. I remember hearing an interception a game or a takeaway every game. I mean, that's stellar, and. You got to keep them off the field so they can be healthy enough and not be dead at the end of games. And so we'll see what they do, but it's all nothing because it's Buffalo's division to lose. And they've only gotten better than last year. I mean, that game they played against Kansas City, if that is just a preview of what's to come, I mean, the whole league's in trouble. I mean, because and then they added Von Miller to that defense, and a nice guy. I think they lost a wide receiver, maybe a running back, but I think they gained.
Yeah, didn't they lose Cole Beasley?
I think he retired.
One of the major players.
Okay, Oh, and
You
real
wanna make it
quick,
first, but they-
Randy, before you continue, I
Yes.
just checked again to clarify. My bad. Sorry, Jets, you're still going to suck this year. Their schedule this year is actually against, besides their own division, it's the NFC North and the AFC South.
Well, at least they play the Jaguars. That might be competitive. Good job, New York. You might get one win out of that.
I
Hell,
spoke too
maybe
soon.
the Texans
Yeah, but-
might give you
Or
one.
a tie.
Hell,
Maybe they'll
Go
get
ahead,
a tie.
Randy.
You never know. Maybe they'll get a tie out of that one with the Jags, best case scenario. But yeah, I mean, if we're looking at records, I see Buffalo 12, 13 games, easy. And Jets, well,
2.
I can't do negative.
Dude,
So, I mean, because I'm saving the negative for, you'll see. And for the Lions whenever we do that. But yeah, I see New England and Miami neck and neck, 9-10 wins each. But that's a hard division to pick with those three teams, with those two teams in particular, easy 2-3, 3-2. So
And real quick,
that's my take on that. Go ahead,
and
Steven.
real quick as well. Also, there's one other division that the Jets are going to suck against: the AFC West.
Oh my God.
Yep, they're screwed.
And we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that in a few minutes once you guys get previews it. Oh yeah, by the way, you said the Jets facing the Jaguars. Yeah, the Jets are gonna lose that one easily. They could the whole fucking Jacksonville Jaguars could be the Jericho Appreciation Society, and they still lose.
Yep. So the Jets are going to face the NFC North, the AFC South, and the AFC West. So
All right, Joey.
All right, so like I did the first two conferences last week, I'm going to go from the bottom up, and I'm going to go from the bottom up in every conference.
Hold on
because
one
that's
second. One second. Sorry. Quick shout out to, of course, Randy's dad, William Giron, who's in the chat. Shout out to him. Hope you're doing well, sir. Thank you for coming on, as always. All right, Joey, please continue, sir.
All right, so obviously we know who the last place is going to be, and that's the Cougar hunting milf finder Zach Wilson led New York Jets.
Oh my God.
I mean, honestly,
He's making passes at your mom's best friend.
Oh
yeah, that's the only way Zach Wilson's ever going to throw 50 touchdowns in the season is if he hooks up with a 50-year-old milf. Anyway, but I digress.
I have jokes for that. I'm just gonna. It's not PG. I'm gonna leave it at that.
But yeah, and like Kevin said, Mickey Becton's going to be out the whole season because that knee is still bothering him. Jazz, it can only go downhill. I actually feel kind of sorry for Robert Saleh because he deserves a much better team. He really does. I actually kind of agree with you guys with the coin flip between Miami and New England. I think Miami is going to edge out New England, though, for second place because Miami has done – well, they did more in the offseason than New England did. Like Kevin said, New England's they actually took a couple of big hits because, yeah, they do have Bill Belichick, and he's also experimenting with Mac Jones. But like Kevin said, Jason McCourty retired, and the Patriots lost a couple of other big names in free agency, which is going to hurt them. And Miami, boy, did Miami load up or what? And now it got Tyreek Hill in a trade. They went and signed Melvin Ingram. They signed the best left tackle, I believe, in the game, with Teron Armstead to protect Tua. And now he's got Waddle to throw to again, along with Tyreek Hill and Mike Gesicki. Oh, I'm telling you, Tua, as long as he doesn't turn the ball over, because I mean, yeah, I saw Tua play a lot in Alabama, and he was a great quarterback. He knew how to sling the ball. But of course, whenever he got to the pros, that's when the turnover started. So if Tua could just limit the turnovers and everything like that, Tua can actually be asset, more of an asset than a liability. And not to mention, the Dolphins also boosted their run game a little bit because, I mean, yeah, he was hurt most of last season and hardly didn't play, but the Dolphins went out and got them Raheem Mostert from San Francisco. So that's a big boost to their run game. But the AFC East is Buffalo's division to lose because look at the talent they got on both sides of the ball. Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis, Von Miller on the defensive side of the ball, Tre'Davious White. I'm telling you, Buffalo is loaded up to the core, the talent. And this is definitely Buffalo's division to lose. Now, do I think they're going to win 15 games? Maybe, maybe not, but I do see them winning at least 13, 14, hands down, because Buffalo just has that talented of a core led by a strong head coach and a great quarterback who's quickly, not slowly, but quickly becoming one of the best pure precision passers in the game in Josh Allen. So that's my AFC East preview. And one more thing, as far as the Jets are concerned, they're facing all four of the AFC North teams back to back to back to back. So
wow,
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I see. I mean, literally Baltimore, Cincinnati, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh back to back to back to back. So it's going to be interesting to see how much the Jets lose, because they're probably going to lose by a combined score of like 123 to like 7.
Hey, Joey, I do got a quick note for everybody if it's worth noting, but last season, the Dolphins did sweep New England in the series 2-0. They won week 1, 17 to 16.
That's a good point,
and
Kev.
they won week 16 or 17, 33 to 24. So that's
a good point.
Without the additions of Tyreek Hill and defense and new offensive, like that. I don't know if New England have enough, man. I really don't. I think they'll keep pace with them record-wise, but I don't know if they can beat them both times.
That's a good point. And looking at both of these divisions, I mean, just like with the AFC East, I mean, this is definitely, like you all have said, this is Buffalo's division to lose. I mean, they are the clear-cut favorites to win this division. And 15 games, I think, is too much of a stretch. I mean, that's too – I think they're going to win at least 13 to 14, like you said, Joey. But I really think that Miami is going to be the clear-cut number 2. There's no competition. Because Mac Jones, my biggest problem with Jones going into his second season is he going to have that sophomore slump? Honestly, I think he is. Because last year he had his coming out party with his rookie year, and he was really good last year. But I really think this year he is going to struggle, and I think Miami is gonna sweep him again this year. And that, like, the Jets are gonna lose multiple games this year. I think the Jets are gonna have only 3 wins this year. I think the Patriots are gonna have probably maybe 6 or 7, but I'm giving it to Miami to go over New England, and this year. But obviously it's gonna take a heck of a lot of talent for Miami to go up against that juggernaut of the Buffalo Bills, because Josh Allen is much improved. He keeps improving every single year, and he can only get better from here. And Buffalo, like you said, Kevin, it wouldn't surprise me if the Buffalo Bills are the AFC team representing this year's Super Bowl. And as far as the AFC West is concerned, man, that division is packed. I mean, the Chiefs are still the Chiefs because of Mahomes, but there's that huge but. But you have other teams like the Las Vegas Raiders, like the Los Angeles Chargers, like the Denver Broncos, that have all made moves to compete with Kansas City. And I don't think it's going to be as a clear-cut Kansas City division win this year, fellas. I think that the Raiders have a great shot. Hell, I think the Chargers have a great shot at winning that division. All the moves they made in the offseason. I mean, The only issue that I have with Los Angeles in this season is, can they be consistent? Because every time the Chargers were good last year, they had their streaks of being bad. And, and now that, Denver has a legitimate quarterback in Russell Wilson, back there in the pocket, how good's he going to be? I think he'll be pretty solid. But my concern for Russell going forward with the Broncos is, can that offensive line hold him up, and protect him, and if they can do that, then I think Wilson's going to have a hell of a year, his first year with Denver. But I really don't think that the AFC West is going to be a runaway division for Kansas City, because I think the Raiders could do it. I think it's going to be, honestly, hot take, I'm picking the Chargers or the Raiders to take that division, not Kansas City, because Kansas City has a whole nucleus of weapons on offense. I mean, our favorite TikTok buddy, Juju Smith-Schuster, is now with Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City. And I don't think that Kansas City is going to be the flame-throwing of offenses like they were the last
No, because Juju's sister would be too busy making TikTok videos.
Exactly. I don't think their offense is going to score that many points like it did the last 3 to 4 seasons, and they're definitely not going to the Super Bowl. I think it's going to be between Vegas or the Chargers.
All right. That is your AFC East. Anybody else have any final notes they want to throw on here before we move on to the AFC West?
I'd like to say one thing about the Jets, though. I think Zach Wilson's going to pick up more moms than the team has wins. Zach Wilson 5, the Jets 3. There you have it. Final score. Zach Wilson has more moms than the Jets have wins.
Wow.
Hey, I will say real quick, I think we're going to see a first for the Jets this season. And I believe that is going to be that we're going to see the first 1-16 team in NFL history in the New York Jets. The reason I'm not saying 2 wins is because the Jets, unfortunately, are not playing the Cow Turds this year, because the Jets have actually beaten the Cow Turds 3 times in a row. So,
could you imagine that the game was on Thanksgiving? Just saying.
Yeah, that's the only reason that I'm not picking the Jets to have 2 wins this year, because they're not playing Dallas.
Dude,
but yeah,
let me tell you this one is Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson is hunting. If Zach Wilson continues to hunt Cougars, they're gonna have to call Pete on his ass for that.
Hey, but you know what? You know what though? It's actually kind of interesting that Zach Wilson is considered a Cougar, because you got to think back. Where did Zach Wilson go to college? BYU. And what's their team name? The Cougars.
Coincidence?
Yeah,
Coincidence? I don't think so. Oh, by the way, William Giron, of course, posted in the YouTube chat. He says that his pick for the Super Bowl is Buffalo and the LA Rams.
First matchup of the season.
That's very interesting. That could be a possibility. Of course, we'll get into that when we start to preview the NFC next week. But right now we got to get to the AFC West, of course. And the AFC West is pretty damn good, to say the least.
Pretty damn good is an understatement at this point. It's stacked.
Yeah, it's stacked.
Absolutely. The AFC West, we got ourselves a pretty good stacked lineup. We got with us, of course, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Chargers, the Raiders, and the Broncos. It's going to be it's pretty interesting. All these teams making moves, all these teams doing. Of course, the Chargers, they have pretty much their core team behind them, with Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, Austin Eckler, all those guys. And then they got under offensive line, Zion Johnson with their first round pick. A very well touted offensive lineman. So it's going to be interesting. And then the Raiders, if you talk about the Raiders, they got a big boost in their offense with the acquisition of former Green Bay Packers running back Devontae Adams.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yep. And it's going to be very interesting on that front.
That Carr Adams connection is going to be lethal in Vegas. I mean, just
yes.
old college teammates teaming up finally again, now in the pros. And
that's definitely, you're right, Steven. I forgot they are college teammates, so that chemistry is automatically there, which is great. We especially when you have new players together and you're building chemistry, then you realize, oh crap, we did play in college together. So that could be a lethal possibility. Denver, of course, the big story behind Denver is, of course, what was finalized today, which would might as well go ahead and say real quick, and that is, of course, that the Walton family has officially acquired the Denver Broncos. Of course, nothing really outside of that is going to change too much at this point, being so close to the regular season, but still, of course now, and then they also, with the addition of one Russell Wilson from Seattle, which that will make a drastic change in their offense, but we'll see.
yes,
And then, of course, we can't forget about the Kansas City Chiefs, of course. Kansas City pretty depleted, losing. Of course, they lost Tyreek Hill, but like I said, they gained. They added Marcus Valdes-Scantling and Juju Smith-Schuster, as we said, and then they got Sky Moore out of Western Michigan in the draft as well. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for me to call. I'm going to go with the Chargers to win this division.
Ooh, okay.
I'm going to go with the Chargers to win this division. I think Herbert and company have been really, really good. I think they're going to make some noise. I think they're really going to do well. And then after that, I'm going to go with the Raiders. The Raiders have been really making the right moves, been stacking up on their offense, making great acquisitions. So, and who knows, this could be the year one Derek Carr. We'll see.
And it might be back to his healthy years, especially when they were in Oakland in 2016 when he was an MVP candidate before he had the leg injury that took him out, and his play went down for the last couple of years. And then last year had a very, very solid productive year. And I think this year will be a better year for Carr.
Yeah, because now he's got more time to get himself 100%, recover, and to be able to be that quarterback that he used to be. Hopefully, that's of course remains to be seen. We don't know that right off the bat. And then Kansas City, and then Denver. As much as Russell Wilson is going to be a great acquisition, I feel like Denver's missing maybe a few key pieces that could help them out. But they're not going to be far
Mm.
behind. No, I don't think they're going to be like the Jets or anybody else, or the Texans or whoever is going to be like. We're going to be like 2-3 game wins. I think they're going to be close. It's going to be kind of close, but they're still going to get more wins than the Jets. We'll say that. So, all right, let's go with. We're going to switch up the order. Steven.
So I think that if we're looking at all of these teams from top to bottom, 3 out of the 4 are pretty equal as far as quarterbacks and key pieces and all that stuff. The Broncos really concern me because, yes, they got Russell Wilson at quarterback, but they don't really have a lot of other weapons on the offensive end. And we don't know how good the offensive line is going to be with him because this will be his first year with a brand new team and also a brand new playbook, to go by now.
You are right because he's no longer, because Pete Carroll's no longer there. He's going to have to adjust to a new playbook, new coaching staff. He's gonna have to make some very big adjustments.
Yes,
and he's gonna have a whole new offense to work with too.
If I'm going by, all of these 4 teams, I think Denver is going to be the team that finishes last. I think they're going to have at best, I would say 6 wins. I'm being somewhat generous, but at worst, I'll say 4 to 5. They have some nice things going on, but they have to make some quick adjustments in the offseason, in order for the and during training camp, obviously, to get Wilson prepared, for the regular season when the games matter. And then Kansas City. Kansas City to me is going to be the team out of all the teams in any of these divisions across the AFC or the NFC that it's going to take a huge step back, in my opinion. Because yes, Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. But again, he doesn't have that piece on the offensive end besides Travis Kelce that he can trust 110%. Because if you notice, when Tom Brady in New England in one of his years in New England, I think it was like 2014 or 2015, he had 2 rookie receivers on that team that he was throwing to, and they were dropping wide open passes. And it was frustrating Brady. And Brady said, all right, you're going to keep dropping balls. I'm going to keep throwing the guys that can catch these passes, like Edelman and Gronkowski. And that is my biggest concern with Kansas City going forward this year, is because Mahomes has brand new weapons in Scantling and Smith-Schuster. And is Smith-Schuster a decent receiver? Yes, he has talent. He had talent in Pittsburgh. But the biggest problem with him is he reminds me of a younger 2020, a younger, version of this generation of players, version of T.O., because T.O. was full of himself at times, when he was with the Cowboys or the Eagles with his antics and stuff. And that's the problem that concerns me with Smith-Schuster going to Kansas City, because knowing Kansas City fans, if they see that their player is not confident, if he's not consistent and he's overconfident and he's, trying to make all the quote unquote big plays and highlight plays, and he's not, making the right plays, they're going to shit on him because, dude, you're supposed to be here for the team and not for yourself. And I really think that they're going to suffer on the offensive end, but they're really going to struggle on the defensive end. And I'm going to say it right here, right now. Kansas City is going to finish near the bottom of the defensive, rankings, because case in being, Tyrann Mathieu is no longer with the team. Matthews is not there. He's in New Orleans, and that is a huge, huge piece, along with acquisition last year. Melvin Ingram's no longer with the team. He was, to me, the defensive anchor that made Kansas City's defensive engine run at a consistent basis last year, because that's how great Ingram was with that team, because he took average players and brought them together and said, come on, fellas, follow my league. And he brought him and they made him better, and they almost made the Super Bowl, and then I think Mahomes will still have a good year this year. I think he's going to throw at least 20, 22 touchdowns, but it's not going to be the 30, 35, at best, I'll say 25, 26, but I think he'll probably finish with 22, I'll say 22. He's not going to have a bad year by any means, but it's going to be a different Patrick Mahomes, considering that he has different offensive weapons. And now we get to the big 2 teams, in my opinion, the Chargers and the Raiders. And I'll start with the Raiders because Devontae Adams is the biggest acquisition, in my opinion, in the NFL's offseason this year, because he is going to be the key piece with the Las Vegas Raiders that may turn them from a team that barely made the playoffs last year into a team that can possibly win the division in the AFC West this year. Because that connection, like I said, Carr and Adams is going to be a deadly lethal combination for any defensive backs in any games that the Raiders played this year. So good luck guarding Adams, man, because it's going to be a hell of a run, doing that. And then, their defense was pretty solid last year. I think they're going to be again solid this year, and now that they'll have a full offseason with these guys, to rally, and to practice and all that stuff. Because Vegas last year, as we all know, went through a huge, huge sequence of doubt from their fan base going, are they going to make the playoffs, because of all the stuff that they went through with Gruden resigning and, Ruggs committing his stupid, idiotic, shitty act, and drinking, while driving behind the wheel and all that. And Vegas ended up making the playoffs and winning 4, 5, 6 games in a row to make the postseason. They lost to the Bengals, but it was a very good effort by Vegas last year. And I think Vegas this year could possibly win the division. And I say possibly because I agree with you, Ezra. I think that the Los Angeles Chargers, as long as Justin Herbert stays consistent, damn it, because the biggest problem with the Chargers last year was they were not consistent. The teams that they should have been beaten, they lost to them, and the Chargers last year could have made the playoffs if their head coach wasn't just a boneheaded jackass and took the timeout because to play gamesmanship. And the Vegas Raiders said, okay, you're going to call a timeout. We're going to win the game and knock you out of the playoffs completely. And they did that. I think the Chargers are the best team in the AFC West, but they're also the worst team in the NFC West for one reason. they can be their own worst enemy. And when you are your own worst enemy, that's when you become prone to losing games that you should be winning. And that's the one problem that I have with the Chargers is I'm picking them because I think they look good on paper and I think they are going to be good, but I'm a little concerned about that pick because of how consistent are they going to be. Because when they beat Kansas City last year in that first meeting last year, you would have thought that the Chargers were going to be one of the heavyweight contending teams last year, but they faltered under pressure, last year. And I think that they can, just a matter of are they? So those are my rankings for the AFC West.
All right, Joe.
So, I've been doing my research, and I knew that despite all the offseason moves, based on all the offseason moves that each team made, whether some were lost, some were gained, the draft, whenever it came and went, I knew that based on my research, I knew that the AFC West was going to be the absolute toughest division in NFL football this year. And because, like we said in the pre-show, all four teams have the capability and the talent to win the AFC West. So, with that being said, this was a really, really, really tough choice for me to make. Really tough choice for me to make to rank the four teams in the AFC West. But without further ado, let's get to it. Number 4, the team that's going to finish in last is going to be Denver. Because, like we have said, if we're going to AFC West preview so far, yes, Denver was able to land Russell Wilson in one of the biggest blockbuster trades in the NFL offseason. I get that. But Russell Wilson, even though he is a top-notch quarterback, he's really lacked the consistency that I used to see out of him over the first few years of his NFL career when he was lighting up Seattle with all those top-notch receivers and, of course, the Legion of Boom on defense. I believe Russell Wilson has lost his touch a little bit, and due to the fact that he doesn't have any true offensive weapons in the Mile High City, I think I don't think Russell Wilson is going to be awful. I do think he's going to be consistent, I believe, because that's who he is and that's who he's been for most of his career. But Russell Wilson, he won't be able to do it by himself. And plus the fact that who knows how his thumb might be looking after he missed, what was it, like 6-7 weeks of the season last year because of that thumb injury. Who knows how that thumb's going to be feeling, or who knows what else could be going on with Russell Wilson that he's keeping away from everybody. So I think Russell Wilson, he's going to be a good quarterback this year, but it's not going to be enough to keep Denver out of the cellar. Now, number 3. Now, I am really, I hope that I'm counting my chickens before they hatch here. I'm just going based on what I'm seeing on paper, but I think that Kansas City is going to be the number 3 team in the AFC West. I say that because, like we have said, Tyreek Hill is gone. Tyrann Mathieu, gone. Melvin Ingram, gone. Those were the 3 biggest players, 3 of the biggest players that the Chiefs had on their roster last season who have now found homes with other teams. And Steven, I absolutely agree with what you said about Juju Smith-Schuster because, yeah, Marquez Valdes-Scantling, he can be a decent wideout if he wants to be, but looking at the stats of Juju Smith-Schuster and Valdes-Scantling on paper, it's clear that Schuster is going to be the number 1 receiver in Kansas City. It's clear that that's how it's going to be. And I know Schuster has the talent if he can just stop making those TikToks and actually focus on playing the game of football. If Schuster can actually elevate himself to number one status like we have actually seen in the past whenever he was in the Steel City of Pittsburgh, I think he can elevate his status up to a legit elite wide receiver if he wants to be. But, and there's a big but in there, the key words are if he wants to be. Because if he's too concerned with his TikToks and dancing on the team logo at midfield, and of course, acting like a daggum absolute fool with Patrick Mahomes' younger brother, who also likes making TikToks, then the fans there in Kansas City are not going to see the consistency that Juju Smith-Schuster brings to the team. And like you said, Steven, if Smith-Schuster cracks under the pressure, I think that the fans are going to dump absolute crap on Smith-Schuster. So he needs to put down the TikToks. He needs to put down his phone. And he needs to listen to Patrick Mahomes because, yes, he is Patrick Mahomes, all-pro quarterback, future Hall of Famer several years down the line. And he also needs to get receiving help from arguably the best tight end of the game right now, other than George Kittle, of course, and Travis Kelce. Smith-Schuster's like, you know what? I need to really elevate myself. I've been acting like a fool the past couple of years. But now that I'm in a new stadium, new team, new quarterback, new coach, new leadership, it's time to really prove myself that I can be a legit wide receiver if I want to be. Now, do I think he will? Maybe not, because we all know who Juju Smith-Schuster is, but let's just wait and see what happens. Now, number 2 is going to be the Raiders. Mainly because of the acquisition of Devontae Adams to help out Derek Carr. I had to think for a minute because it wasn't David Carr because that's his older brother who didn't turn out to be a bunch of nothing. But Derek Carr and Devontae Adams, college teammates, once again aligned in the pros. And the Raiders on the defensive side of the ball, they actually look pretty stout. But the Raiders, I would not be surprised to see them in a possible coin flip with Kansas City for the number 2 seed. It wouldn't surprise me at all. I don't think it's going to happen, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if that happens. Now, of course, that leaves the LA Chargers as the team who I think is going to win the AFC West this season. Yes, they have talent on both sides of the ball. Especially with Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Andre Eckler, and Mike Williams on the offensive side of the ball. And I may be wrong if I'm saying this, but I think the Chargers still have Joey Bosa back there, I believe. And if they do, then he's no doubt the legit leader of that defense. But the Chargers, like we have said, like you guys have said, they lack the consistency because we saw it last season. We saw it the season before that and the season before that. I mean, the Chargers have really fallen down the stretch when it comes to it. And I don't want to see that this season because if we do see that this season, it might change the status of the Raiders possibly winning the AFC West or possibly even Kansas City winning the AFC West again. I mean, I don't think we're going to see Kansas City happening because that was kind of a bit of a stretch, but I'm just saying the lack of consistency that we have seen from the Chargers over the past few years has really played a big part of where they stand come playoff time or at the end of the regular season. Now, I don't want to see that this season, but with LA, you never know. That's my AFC West predictions.
All right, Randy?
I don't have a take on this. I don't like any of those. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I do. Sorry.
No, we're not talking about New England right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So anyway, this is going to be a great division 1 or 2 years down the road. once Wilson gets acclimated to the system, and the guys like you're saying Schuster and Scanling, Marvin Scanling, to get used to playing with Mahomes and everything, and the Chargers just getting better with Khalil Mack coming into the fold on defense to go along with Bosa. And then, I hate talking about the Raiders because I'll jinx the hell out of them. I'm great at that. But, Devontae Adams coming in, Chandler Jones coming in. It's going to be a great season for the AFC West. I know a couple of the teams in there, Raiders included, have hard schedules. So, that's going to play a lot into my predictions, and the season beyond our predictions. But I think Denver is going to be a probably 6-win team. Once Wilson gets used to over there again, but he's not the same as he was a couple years ago, I don't think.
Agreed.
The new life maybe might help him a little bit down there. Lease on life and everything, but I don't see him doing too much down there. And Kansas City I think is going to take a step back, but you can't rule out Andy Reid, and you can't rule out Patrick Mahomes. They get it done year after year. They've had a lot more talent, of course, and those three players we keep bringing up, are big pieces to their success over the last 6 years. They still got Kelsey, so they're still going to be dangerous. But I see them winning 7, maybe probably 9 games. And believe it or not, it is a toss-up with me too, with the Chargers and the Raiders. The Chargers couldn't get out of their own way in games last year. Like you stated, they beat the team. Just the same with the Raiders, beat the teams that you wouldn't think. They win the league, record 6 walk-off wins, 4 in a row to end the season.
And they struggled against Cleveland.
Against the Chargers too. Yeah. And I wanted to make the point that Raiders play the Chargers first game of the year. So from the jump, we'll see where the cream rises to the top. We'll see week 1 where everybody's kind of at, and then go from there. So it's going to be just a great season. I think either way. I'm excited, even as a fan, if I wasn't a Raider fan, to see what Carr and Adams are going to do together. They've been working out together ever since they've been in the league together. Every offseason Carr probably knows where Adams is going to be before Adams does. So it's going to be amazing to watch. Carr threw for 50 touchdowns one year and 28 were to Adams. Give me a break.
Could you imagine? You bring that up, Randy. You bring that up about this Carr and Adams connection. It wouldn't surprise me, dude, if this combo tandem leads the NFL this year in touchdowns.
Oh, definitely not. No, because they know more about each other. They know more about each other than than each other does. It's just going to be exciting to see, and Adams wants to play there, unlike that fool Antonio Brown a couple years ago. He wants to be there. It was a dream to play on the Raiders. Even if Carr wasn't there, but I can't even do a prediction. I think it's a toss-up between the Chargers and the Raiders in that division, and I think it's just going to be a great season. And we'll see. At least two teams will definitely be in the playoffs from the West this season, and that's all I got.
Before we move on to Kevin, real quick shout out to our boy Big T, who's in the chat. What up, brother? Glad you could join us.
Big T.
Of course. Kevin, close it out, man.
First of all, I just want to say, let me emphasize how good the division already was before this year. The Chargers were a dumbass coaching decision away from the Raiders calling in the white flag to give them a playoff spot to make 3 AFC West teams in the playoffs last year. So to say that the West is a good division is an understatement. I said it last year by week 8. I said the best 2 divisions are in football were the NFC West and the AFC West. Both teams had 3 teams to make the playoffs. This year, I think they can flip-flop. Best 2 division in football, AFC West, the NFC West. I think the AFC West is going to be so close. Like I said, it could be a toss-up. So when I get my predictions, don't hassle me or nag me or say I'm going off a cliff, because either way, all 4 teams, I'm going to tell you, it's going to be 2 games apart or less. They're going to finish that close. Here's my thing. I think in 4th place, here we go. I'm going to say Kansas City Chiefs are in 4th place in this division.
Wow.
Let me get to my explanation. I think they win 8 or 9 games because, listen, it goes deeper than just the 3 players y'all talk about. We've seen their flaws even with the players they had last year. No offensive line. The fucking Bengals, with all due respect, is not a top 5 defense. They were eating Mahomes in the pocket. So you already got your left tackle under contract troubles. You lost him basically. You have no protection. You got no running backs. And then you think that just Travis Kelce y'all are gonna throw for 5,000 yards and 13 wins. And another thing, when I'm making my prediction, let me remind you, the AFC West has to play the NFC West, meaning they have to go to LA and San Francisco and Arizona again. So this is going to be a heavyweight dogfight between those divisions. That's why I got a lot of these teams winning under 11 games in this prediction, because it's going to be a slaughterhouse in between those interconference games. It's going to be a heavyweight dogfight. But the Chiefs, not only those 3 players you said, like I said, no running game, no offensive line. I mean, they got Andy Reid and Mahomes. That's why I think they got a fighter's chance. But I said it 2 years ago before I started this show. Paying Chris Jones is going to be the worst mistake Kansas City ever made. You know why? Financially, couldn't pay Tyrann Mathieu. Couldn't bring back Melvin. Couldn't even bring back their starting fucking middle linebacker who's supposed to be the quarterback of the defense. Couldn't bring back your number 1 corner, Charvarius Ward. What are you going to do? I mean, they couldn't pay nobody because Chris Jones is getting paid like Aaron fucking Donald, and he's nowhere near the caliber of a player and a playmaker that Aaron Donald is. So Kansas City, I'm sorry, I love Mahomes, best top 2 quarterback in the league, better than Brady and Rodgers at this point. He's going to struggle. They're going to struggle until they can figure it out next offseason with their defense. They're going to struggle. Here's my point. They have no offensive line. What is the common denominator and the factor that all 3 of the other teams picked up this offseason?
Offensive lines.
The Chargers, Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa. The Raiders, Chandler Jones, Crosby. And now the Broncos with Bradley Chubb and DJ Jones and guys like that. And not forget Randy Gregory. Denver picked up a solid Dallas Cowboy pass rusher, Randy Gregory. He's going to come in there. Mahomes is going to get eaten alive in the pocket with no offensive line. I'm sorry. You can't win games when you're under pressure 90% of the time. I watched this Chiefs team against the Bengals look pathetic, and they had Tyreek Hill. They had Tyrann Mathieu. They couldn't protect Mahomes, and they looked like a whole different team. The reason why I got Denver in 3rd, we underrate how good and how smart that Russell Wilson is as a leader. I mean, it ain't just about him winning games. Don't you think it was something about Russell Wilson when he came in the league? The Legion of Boom had their defense. They were still a 6-win team under Matt Hasselbeck. Russell Wilson came in and made him a 13-win team. And he didn't do nothing but be a leader, make smart decisions with the football, lead his team. Yeah, there's question marks about the coaching staff. I agree. But one thing's for sure, Denver has more defense and more playmakers on defense side of the ball than the Kansas City Chiefs. Isaiah Simmons is considered by many the best free safety in the game. I mean, you got him. You added DJ Jones, K'Wan Williams at nickelback. You got Bradley Chubb if he can stay healthy. Kareem Jackson. You have a legit defense with the Denver Broncos. I think they win 8 or 9 games. I'm gonna say 9. I'm gonna give Denver 9 games because of that. And not to mention, you got a rookie running back who was considered to be better than Najee Harris at times. And I'm talking about Javonte Williams. He was considered as a legit shot of being better than Najee Harris as the best rookie running back last season. You got him coming back playing with Russ. Cortland Sutton, when healthy, is a dominant force out there. He's a big, stout receiver. It's the X factor is, can Jerry Jeudy step up? If he can step up and play like he did at Alabama, that's a dangerous team. That reminds me of the Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf connection 2 years ago with a healthy Russ. So I got them in third. I think they're going to make plays. I think they're going to surprise a lot of people. I think Russ is going to be cooking. What do they call him? Danger Russ? That's what Russell Wilson's going to be. I'm never going to – and I'm a 49er fan, and I've grown up to hate how many plays he's made against us. But I can't deny the man respect. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer, no doubt. He still got it. Got to give him my praise. Second, I got the Los Angeles Chargers finished in second. I'm sorry. I know everybody's going to say, it's going to be close. It's not. I think they're going to be a game behind the Raiders. But when I look at the Chargers, they are the epitome of inconsistency from the coaching staff to the players' physical in shape, durability, weight training. Keenan Allen cannot stay on the field because he's hurt half the year. Their best receiver, by the way. Yeah, I love their defense. They probably, and I'm going to say this now, they have the best defensive secondary in the whole NFL. Asante Samuel Jr. is a fucking beast, just like his dad was. Mm-hmm. Then you sign one of the best corners in the game over the last 10 years in J.C. Jackson. Derwin James, when healthy, is the best hard-hitting, enforcing strong safety in the game. You got all three of them back there. And here's the big key. The Chargers' win percentage lies on the health of their two biggest questions, which could be their two biggest playmakers on defense, Joey Bosa and Khalil Mack. Those two players, go back to when they're healthy, they remind me of Aaron Donald on the edge, not to a lesser degree because of how many plays they make on the quarterback. They can get to the quarterback. We've seen Khalil Mack. We've seen Joey Bosa. That's what the hype is about the Bosa brothers, like how dominant he is. But can they stay healthy? Because that's been a question that we've had for the last 2 years for both of those players. Khalil Mack missed extended time. Then you had Joey Bosa miss extended time. So it's just, can those two guys stay healthy? The offensive side of the ball, they're going to dominate. Justin Herbert, with all due respect, I love the person that Derek Carr is for the Raiders, but let's be honest, if you had to pick a top 4 quarterbacks in the division, he would fall at number 4. Not saying he's bad, just saying that all 4 of them are fucking good. And the other 3 are probably top 7 in the league with Justin Herbert, how good he is, and Russell and Mahomes, obviously. But you got guys like Austin Eckler. He's going to be an X factor. He's one of the best dual threat running backs in the game, the way he catches the ball. I know last year he killed me on fucking fantasy. He had 4 what was that game where he had like 4 touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown, 3 catching touchdowns? He killed me. He got like 3 points.
Was that like the Browns game, Kevin? I want to say
think it was. It was on Sunday Night Football because I was shaking my head. I said, Jesus freaking Christ.
Or no, wait. Was that the Raiders game?
No, it wasn't the Raiders game.
No, okay.
I remember that game.
It might have been the Browns game. I can't remember what game
it might have been. But here's where I got them separate. Brandon Staley has fucked his team out of a couple wins in the past, and I think he does it this year. Going for 2 points instead of taking the fucking points and kicking the field goal. They had a shot. They would have beat the Kansas City Chiefs on Thursday Night Football had he gone for a field goal at halftime instead of running for a 2 or trying to go for it on 4th and goal. Kick the field goal. Take the points, dude. He has made so many questionable coaching decisions. I just don't trust them. And finally, when I look at the Raiders, I think they went under the radar. I think they have gone. Their additions have went under the radar. Chandler Jones, just put it like this: I'm glad that motherfucker's out of our division. You could take him, get him out of Arizona. He was a factor. Remember, I don't think you guys remember. Week 1, Chandler Jones had 4.5 sacks in week 1 by himself. You put him on the Raiders with Max Crosby, who's had a hell of a damn year last year. You got one of the best pass rushing duos in the league, and they both stay healthy. That's what makes them more of a threat than the Chargers. They stay healthy. And then they went out, I think, Randy, who was it y'all got? The Nassim got some weird name dude from Indianapolis, a slot corner.
Rock Yassin.
Yeah, something like that. Hey, he's a good corner. I was looking at some highlights the other day. He's legit, man.
Oh yeah, he's definitely good.
Here's my thing about their offense.
Yeah.
You talk about Derek Carr, you talk about your Devontae Adams. That's all good. We know what that's going to be. But the thing that's going to make them deadly is when you go to double Devontae Adams. Don't forget, Darren Waller can go over 200. He can go catch 200 on you if you single cover him, if you give Derek Carr some time. Don't forget, here's another one. Josh McDaniels is the head coach. He is a veteran, a Super Bowl champion under Bill Belichick. He's going to have that offense good. And here's the big thing. What has Josh McDaniels always had in his systems in New England? Wes Welker. A Julian Edelman.
Yes.
You know who that is in Vegas? Hunter Renfrow.
Yes, sir. You're
right.
right.
Hunter Renfrow, and he's going to be the gadget guy who's going to run under routes, slot routes, in the slot, backfield. They're going to have Hunter Renfrow all over the place. Then you can't double Devontae Adams. We've seen what happens with guys like Aaron Rodgers and them when we doubled Devontae Adams. Aaron Rodgers didn't know who else to throw to. You can't do that with Vegas. You double Devontae Adams and Renfro's going to eat your ass up, and Darren Waller's going to tear you up. But there's something these three teams have in common that the Chiefs don't. This is what separates them. Defense. Kansas City took that huge loss, and all three of those other teams took a huge leap forward on defense.
Agree.
I think the final predictions for the last two teams, I think the Raiders win 11 games, and I think the Chargers win 10 games, and I think it's that close.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
my predictions for the AFC West. I think it's all four teams are going to be within 3 games of each other. I just think it's that good. Mahomes can single-handedly, with Andy Reid's fat ass, get at least 8 to 9 wins just off of them two. I don't know who else they're going to have. Because at some point, teams are going to triple Kelsey and just say, hey, I dare you to throw it to old TikTok boy. Let's see what he can do. They're going to single cover him and see what happens.
Those are some very good takes there, Kevin, because when you look at the AFC West, it is the toughest division on paper, probably, besides the NFC West. And that has been my biggest hesitation with picking the Chargers. I'm still sticking to my guns, and I'm not confident with it because of the inconsistency of the LA Chargers. The fact that Staley has screwed them out of multiple wins last year, like you just said, with the Chiefs, and definitely a tie with the Raiders to go to the playoffs. I really think that loss to Kansas City on Thursday Night Football really, really put them in the deep water of the pool, and they couldn't survive. Last year, and the Vegas Raiders to me are the most interesting team out of all these teams in the AFC West because of the new acquisition of Adams and their new key pieces on defense. Because I really think that the Vegas Raiders are going to make a complete splash this upcoming year, and they're going to be one of the top teams in the NFL this year.
Don't forget though. Remember, it was Brandon Staley's dumbass coaching at the end of week 7 or week 18 last year that cost them a playoff spot. The Raiders literally said, hey, you don't call out. We just run the clock out. We both tie the game and go both get in the playoff. Nope. What does Brandon Staley do? Oh, timeout. And you know what? The interim head coach for the Raiders does? Okay, fuck it. We'll kick a field goal and win. Now your ass is going home instead of going to the playoff. They were literally going into white flag to say, hey, we both can make it. But the Chargers had to fuck that up too.
Thank you, Staley.
Couldn't have a better team.
Absolutely. And that is our AFC East and AFC West preview. Thank you guys for your insight as always. Let's get into some NFL news real quick, courtesy, of course, of the man himself, Mr. Adam Schefter. Not shocked by that. Of course, we mentioned earlier. Well, here's a news story that just broke an hour ago right here. The Dolphins have acquired a 2023 sixth-round pick from Houston in exchange for tight end Adam Shaheen and a 2023 seventh-round pick. Little small trade. Of course, Roger Goodell came out today and said that he's looking into suspending Deshaun Watson for a whole year. He says that he calls his actions egregious and predatory behavior.
Not surprised.
And things for the Browns are worse than that. Fortunately, today in practice, Jakeem Grant, their wide receiver, unfortunately suffered a serious injury that appears to possibly be a torn Achilles. So they're going to lose one of their big weapons this upcoming season. So huge blow to the Cleveland Browns, who are already dealing with enough stuff as it is. Also, we got to mention this big news, and that is today that the sale, like we mentioned earlier, the sale between the Denver Broncos and the Walton Penner ownership group is officially closed. So now they are officially owned by the owner of Walmart.
Save money, live better. How about save money, play better?
Rollbacks.
The Denver
Yes.
Rollbacks.
That's it.
Yep. Your price of tickets instead of being $450 will be $450.88.
Yeah.
Why not? Because every cost of Walmart usually ends with 88.
That's the rollback price.
Definitely.
I wonder if there's going to be a Walmart built inside that damn stadium. Oh, wait, there's not. Sorry.
A great value jumbotron.
Hey, here's the nearest Walmart.
Great value. Great
Thank
value. Great value stadium. It's going to be Great Value Stadium.
Yeah, there you go. Welcome to
There you
Great
go.
Value Stadium.
Great Value Stadium. I'm surprised they haven't called it Sam's Field yet.
Yeah. Sam's Field, yeah. You know it.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, get it together. Oh, yeah. The home of the Cincinnati Bengals is no longer Paul Brown Stadium. Now it will be called Paycor Stadium.
What?
What the?
What the fuck?
So
No.
much for
Oh
much for
my
history.
gosh.
No.
Well, here's the thing. Paycor is a human capital management company that has been headquartered in Cincinnati for over 30 years. It has served as the team's official HR software provider since 2018.
Oh, that's lovely. It's still Paul Brown Stadium to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so let's see.
Lord have mercy.
Speaking of the Raiders, we were talking about the Raiders earlier. Josh McDaniels said that he has no desire to trade Josh Jacobs.
Good.
I just put in the chat. I think him and Zamir White are going to be a great 1-2 punch, and that they're only going to go up. I mean, the thunder and lightning type thing that they used to have back in the day, I think that's what's going to happen with these two, and I just can't wait to see it because McDaniels definitely knows what to do with the running backs too. They'll be catching passes out of there. I mean, it was only preseason. I mean, I think we saw flashes of what's to come, I think, with them running the ball. So I'm excited.
Oops.
Yeah,
As you should be.
Yep,
Yes,
as you
sir.
should be. And you mentioned earlier, Kevin, about Mekhi Becton. You mentioned earlier that he was dealing with a knee injury. Well, they said that his knee is stable, and it doesn't seem like a big deal in terms of severity. So that's good. So that's good news.
Well, that's good news.
But how long he'll be out is right now is undetermined. So that news, of course, will break later. And of course, the biggest news coming out of the NFL this week, outside of the whole Deshaun Watson thing and the sale of the Denver Broncos officially becoming a thing, is Justin Tucker got paid.
Yeah, fine.
Finally.
Yep. Justin Tucker, the Ravens Pro Bowl kicker and kicking legend for that fucking team.
Yes.
It's got a 4-year, $24 million extension that includes $17 million guaranteed and an $11.5 million signing bonus.
In Tucker, we trust, baby.
Are they gonna fucking use them though? Or kill for
No,
twos?
they're gonna go for 2-point conversions from hell again.
In twos we trust. John Harbaugh.
How did you guys lose this year? Oh, went 2-point conversions again. Why? You got a kicker that can kick the ball. Yeah, but we're still going to go for 2-point conversions because why not?
Yeah.
Stupid.
Shall we move on, gents?
Sure.
Let's get into what we came here for.
Oh dear
Let's
God!
do it.
Here we go. It's
And
time
it
for
is the
comedy hour
ongoing
to
saga
begin.
that is the Kevin Durant trade storyline. This has been a shit show, to say the least. Kevin, I'm going to have you lead this off. Give everybody the
Oh
rundown.
boy!
Does anybody have a circus theme? Because we're gonna need it for this one. And the whole time you got Ben Simmons floating around the room listening to the theme with his little circus hat, about to quit the team. Okay, here's what I got to say. Kevin Durant. Brought to you by the Brooklyn Nets. Okay. Here is what I said. Kevin Durant, or should I call him Karen Durant, because that's what he's acting like. It's a damn Karen. He's acting like Aaron Rodgers, literally of the NBA. He's the NBA's version of Aaron Rodgers. So fucking good, but too fucking mouthy. And he wants like a fucking spoiled brat, like he's got a silver spoon up his ass. My thing is this. You demand a trade a month ago. Well, let's go back. 3 years ago, you said, fuck you, Steph. I'm going to play with Kyrie. I want to play with Kyrie. 3 years later, I don't want Kyrie. I want to be traded. Fast forward a month later, now you go back to your owners and say, oh, I might consider staying if you get rid of fucking Steve Nash, who you wanted to bring in the first place. You want Steve Nash. Oh, fire him. Oh, fire the GM. But I wanted them. Why? And then he's like, oh, I want to play with Kyrie. If we can do that. Then Kyrie publicly comes out and says, oh, I want Steve Nash gone too. Well, why'd you bring him fucking in? You're like a kid playing 2K that don't know what the fuck You're literally bringing in a bunch of damn goofs. Oh, I want him to coach. I'll fire him. I don't want him no more. Why? And then Kevin Durant is just, I don't want to play with this team. I hate Brooklyn. Oh, I might stay if you fire everybody. But you know what? If I was Brooklyn's owner, I'd get rid of all three of them jabronis. Oh, Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and Ben Simmons. And Ben Simmons, why you ask? I don't know if you heard, but it came out that this clown in a team group chat before Game 4, when he was expected to make his return, this clown left the group chat before the game and then said, oh, I'm injured. I can't play Game 4. You fucking clown. That is the Ben Simmons that we know and love and admire to clown on all the time. You quit on your city before you played one fucking quarter of basketball. Oh, it took you 2 years to quit on Philly. You quit on Brooklyn and didn't play a single fucking quarter. And Kevin Durant, you brought this on yourself. At first, I didn't feel sympathy for Durant. At first, I was honestly, I didn't blame him for wanting out of Brooklyn. But when he comes out today and does this shit, I don't have no sympathy for you. Stay to fucking Brooklyn. Watch Golden State keep winning rings and watch it play with Ben Simmons. That's all I got to say. You clowns can have a little in Brooklyn. You know what? Here's my idea. Brooklyn is so fucking screwed up. The mayor needs to get rid of the city in general. I mean, get rid of the team out of that city. They need to relocate it. Here's an idea with new owners and new player personnel, everything, management. Relocate the motherfuckers back to Seattle, where the city really appreciates basketball and where you yank the team from, because Seattle would love to take over that organization. Seattle would love to bring in their own owners that can run a fucking team and not a fucking clown show. I mean, bring it to Seattle and let them work, because you guys in New York, you suck. And Kyrie, just retire. Jesus Christ. You talking about, like Ezra said, he's trying to thread the needle when he's fucking scared of a needle. For crying out loud. Kevin Durant, I don't know what, he's more separate than damn to the Brooklyn Nets than his fucking bald spot is in his head. The fucking rest of his hair. and last but not least, Ben Simmons is the LeBron James of a fucking social media, of a group chat. He leaves before the fucking season's up. Oh, I quit. You guys suck. And then he just leaves the group chat. What the fuck is that? Seth Curry, Joe Harris, get the fuck out of Brooklyn. They're going to drag you into this circus. And just get the fuck out of Brooklyn. I don't care. Go play for the fucking Thunder. Go play for the damn Hornets. I don't care. Just get the fuck out of Brooklyn. They're ruining all your reputations because of a bunch of clowns, along with their leader, their master, their puppet show master, Karen Durant. There you go. Good job, Karen.
You've done this.
Well,
Hey, right now, the way you just trashed him, if Ben Simmons is even remotely watching the show, and he probably is because he's not in a group chat with the rest of his team right now.
Yeah, he probably left already. Imagine that.
After you just trash him, he's probably thinking,
I can't believe you've done this.
Oh dear God.
I don't even know what to say. I mean,
honestly, I think we should have let Kevin go last.
like Kevin. I mean, you just hit a grand slam, a couple of RBIs, and then another grand slam. Yeah, the Nets are completely screwed.
Kevin, that rant was
Excellent.
Well, somebody else.
Hey, here's what I'll say. Kevin Durant, you're dumb. Ben Simmons, you are an idiot. As Dr. Phil would say.
Yes.
And Kyrie, I don't even know what to say about Kyrie.
I mean, Kevin, you said it. I mean, Kevin Durant is so clueless right now. Like, I know beyond a shadow of a doubt that he is regretting.
He couldn't even fucking find a clue, even if it was Steve and Blue together with him. Yeah.
But the fact that Kevin Durant leaves Golden State in 2019 to join with his so-called buddy in Kyrie Irving down in Brooklyn, and now fast forward 3 years later, and look where this team is. They are fucked with a capital F. Like, the fact that, Kevin Durant is standing there going, oh, geez, I'm so sorry, Golden State. I know you just won a championship again without me, but come on. I need to come back and play with you guys again, because that's the only way Kevin Durant is going to be a winner again. He knows that the Golden State Warriors are here to stay in the NBA as champions again, because it wouldn't surprise me if the Golden State Warriors are going to be representing the Western Conference Finals in the finals next year. Again, Kevin Durant leads Golden State, goes to Brooklyn, and he does the same bull crap that he had to do in OKC, having to carry Russell Westbrook, James not guarding Harden, for a couple of years, and then he led, Westbrook, for those last 3 to 4 years, leaves OKC and realizes I'm not going to win. He goes to the team that he can win, Golden State. He goes to 3 NBA finals, wins 2 out of 3, because, hey, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, like the song goes. And he goes to Brooklyn and hasn't done diddly squat with the Nets. The only thing that he has done is get swept by the Boston Celtics last year in the 2022 playoffs. And then in the previous year against the eventual champion Milwaukee Bucks, against Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks, he has to put the Nets on his back when James Harden leaves, being the sidekick when Kyrie, I can't stay healthy, Irvin goes down with knee injury after knee injury, and KD scores 48 points in that game 7. And Giannis and the Bucks absolutely took him to school because, shocker, KD knows I don't have any help to help me out. Oh, geez, help me out, Steph. Help me out, Clay. Game 6, Clay. Help me out, Draymond, with your tenacious defense. Oh, I don't have nobody. I'm screwed. And he's just foaming it in. He knows he's done. He knows he'll never be nothing again. That's why he's wanting out. But what I understand is you bring in Steve Nash, you bring in the GM, you vouched for those guys. And now that your team is not doing crap, you want them out? Like, what the hell, dude? Come on. Make up your mind. I mean, come on.
I think the Titanic stayed up longer than the fucking Brooklyn Nets. Out loud.
Hey, Kevin, there is one man who can save the Brooklyn Nets.
Oh, no.
His name is John C.
No, listen. This to me, I believe, is instant karma to Kevin Durant.
Agreed.
This guy literally, and let's all admit it, Westbrook was balling when he was in OKC. Let's admit it. He fucked Westbrook over. He done Westbrook so wrong. Then he goes to Golden State. And what's the definition of what I'm trying to think? I think you would consider him a gold digger because he literally took the gold and ran with it. Oh, you want me a chip? So now I'm going to leave your ass. Bye. And then he leaves to go to Kyrie, and now it's came back to bite him on the ass. And Westbrook's laughing. Curry's laughing.
Oh, it's priceless. I mean,
that was a part of this shit is laughing their ass off at Kevin Durant. Hell, maybe he needs to be like Aaron Rodgers and take some of them psychedelic drugs to calm his fucking nerves down and shut the hell up. What did Chris Jericho say? What he used to say? He needs to tell Kevin Durant that advice. Sometimes you need to shut the hell up. And that's what he should do. Literally shut up.
Yeah. He would say right now, would you please shut the hell up?
That's what we're screaming at Kevin Durant right now. Please do that.
I mean, the fact that Durant is acting like a crybaby prima donna, he is making LeBron James look like a walk in the park. Because when LeBron doesn't get his way, he complains to the cows come home. Meanwhile, Durant is 10 times even worse than LeBron has ever been.
He's making Kyrie look sane.
Exactly.
He makes LeBron look like little orphan Annie.
Oh my God.
What's he want to do next? Impeach the fucking mayor? You want to make Kyrie play? I want you out too.
Apparently, LeBron didn't drink his Ovaltine like in A Christmas Story.
Oh my God. I
mean, can we?
Randy. So Kevin, you went the high route, changed your name. Randy goes and ends up turning it into KD's burner account.
I don't think Randy's seen my name. When I logged in, it was Kevin Durant's burner account.
Nice.
Great minds think alike, Randy. Great minds.
Kevin took the high road. Randy, of course, took the low road.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Wow.
But the whole Nets organization, the whole situation involving them two is a joke. And then you got LeBron who bitches, moans, and complains more than most ex-wives. You got that going on. Freaking.
No wonder Durant's movie career flopped.
I don't know what's more far back. LeBron's hairline or Dwight Howard's free throw percentage?
Ben Simmons' 3-point percentage.
Or Russell Westbrook's free throw percentage?
Ben Simmons playing
Ben Simmons.
percentage.
Yeah.
Or Russell Westbrook's free throw percentage? Because it keeps disintegrating.
Joe changed his name to Ben Simmons leaving the team chat.
I mean, Kevin Durant has a horrible mindset right now. I mean, he's not even thinking. He's not even thinking clearly in his head. Like he is so
thinking is not what he's doing. Yeah.
no. And the cream this time will not rise to the top.
Aaron Rodgers needs the psychedelic drugs.
Oh dear God. I think Kevin Durant's
Don't get me
listening to too
started
much
on that
Pink
fool.
Floyd.
You mentioned Aaron Rodgers. Do not get me started on that fool.
Oh my God.
I heard his comments earlier saying, "Oh, I love Chicago football. I grew up a Bears fan." Blah 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 blah. Shut the fuck up and stay on your own team, bitch. Fucking worry about your own shit. Stay out of our city. Stay out of our city. Otherwise, our offense is gonna end up whooping your ass, bitch. Fuck out of here. Anyway,
oh my God.
anyways, back to torching Kevin Durant and Ben Simmons. You were saying?
Oh, it's fantastic. It's
Hey,
easy to
Kyrie.
do.
Yeah, Kevin basically said everything that needs to be said. So I don't even know where to leave off on that.
I mean,
I can't even.
talk about swinging for the fences.
Everything off.
Talk about swinging for the fences and hitting grand slams. I mean, good Lord. I mean, Kevin just did that not once, but twice, but 3 times.
Yeah, too
It's
bad-
over.
Yeah, too bad the Braves couldn't do that against the Mets.
Don't worry, the Jets are used to seeing 1 and 4 too.
Hey, Joey is going to leave the chat now. Joey is going to leave the chat now.
Joey really is gonna be kicking Ben Simmons. he left before the 4th quarter.
He's done. He's out.
Oh,
Step out.
you
Aaron
talking about a
Rodgers.
home run? That was a home run. Oh my God.
Damn.
Down for
I
being
haven't
Simmons.
even said that. Like, I'm so miserable about that now.
We're having too much fun
Randy.
tonight.
Randy,
Yes, sir.
Randy, where is your cat Sprocket? Because he's a claw Ezra all over his face for saying that.
Oh, yeah. I need to go. I'll get him. He's around
Yeah,
here.
yeah. He's about to turn into a Chinese takeout menu special.
Rocket's preparing his Hall of Fame speech.
Well, the good thing is you won't go hungry. You won't be hungry in 15 minutes after eating him. He's there's a lot of him.
Well, Randy, I think he's at a job interview because I think the Carolina Panthers offer him a job as a mascot.
Hey,
Yeah.
you know what, to add more fire to the Kevin Durant discussion, this was the report from yesterday from Shams Charania of for the Athletic and Stadium. Says right here, Kevin Durant reiterated his trade request at a meeting with Joe Tsai and wants the team to choose between Durant or the pairing of GM Sean Marks and Steve Nash. KD does not have faith in the Nets' current direction.
What an idiot.
I wasn't having faith in him 3 years ago. What the fuck? Now you see it.
Now you know.
He's going to try to trade the GM. Can I trade you? He's going to ask the GM, can I trade you?
You either trade me or you trade the coach. Not both.
I have never heard any star player in any sports complain to this level degree. I mean, Kevin Durant is just making every other star player's life look even easier to deal with. Durant is miserable, and hey, misery loves company.
I'd like to see it
Tell me
where
about it.
the Nets have Kyrie Irving and Ben Simmons, but don't have Kevin Durant. After all this is said and done, that's what's going to end up happening. And
Could
You know
you
what,
imagine if that even happens
yeah.
if Durant is gone and it's Kyrie and Ben Simmons?
Oh God.
You thought they were a dumpster fire already without all 3 of those players?
Oh,
Now
my
without
Lord.
your star player in Durant, if he leaves, whenever he leaves,
Add
know.
Dwight Howard to the mix, and you got some trio there, buddy.
oh yeah.
Oh,
And-
for real.
And
For
you know,
real.
that's another thing too about the Nets. You know, if Durant still stays until he's traded, dude, the response from the Nets fans. You thought Knicks fans were hardcore when it comes to their team if they're doing bad?
Joey's looking for him.
They are going to be looking for him and booing him every time he touches the ball, because any true Nets fan will not stand for this bullshit, because Kevin Durant is holding this team hostage. This team is going to be at the bottom of the barrel of the Eastern Conference. Mark it down. They're going to be worse than the Knicks and the Charlotte Hornets. They're going to be that bad.
I got to say three things real quick.
And that's saying something. Go ahead, Joey.
Number one, I definitely cannot follow what Kevin said about this whole thing, because nothing was better than that. I mean, that's like hitting 4 grand slams in one inning, scoring 8 touchdowns in a quarter in the Super Bowl.
That was similar to the Red Sox game against, what was it, the Blue Jays?
Yeah. Number 2.
28-5.
Number 2. The fact that Kevin Durant might stay in Brooklyn and team up with Kyrie and Ben, it's just like Kevin said on the group chat earlier. All you need is a hairbrush, a basketball, and a vaccine to knock all 3 of them out. My gracious.
Last thing I'm gonna say about it, Ezra's music makes a good point with the clown music, but just read the Brooklyn Nets transactions since they got Kevin Durant and look how wacky they sound. We signed Durant. Get rid of Kenny Atkinson. He goes to Golden State to help win a championship. We're going to trade away your young core and Jared Allen, Karis LeVert, and Spencer Dinwiddie just to bring in James Harden, who now, a year later, trades James Harden. Now you're out of all those players. Then you get Ben Simmons. Now he leaves the group chat. Durant demands to be traded. Kyrie's a part-time employee, and it's just a never-ending fucking juggling circus with these clowns. I've never seen so many transactions just go straight to hell than I've seen with this team. I mean, none of it's paying dividends. None of them. Jesus freaking Christ, man. None of these damn things, none of these transactions are paying any kind of promising results. God.
Yeah, and the last thing I wanted to say real quick. All the bashing we've talked about Kendrick Perkins. Lord, this whole Kevin Durant nonsense, mate. This whole Kevin Durant nonsense makes Kendrick Perkins seem like a god of NBA analysis.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let's go ahead and leave this circus and head to something a little bit more serious to let's close the 10 on this circus and move on to something else.
One more thing.
What's
that?
One
more thing. This is what we're basically saying about the Nets.
You will never win.
Yeah. That's how bad it's gonna
be. Steven, I see you over there trying to steal my thunder when it comes to my voice reactions. You know what, Steven?
Fuck, I can't believe you've done this.
And also for that too.
Sir.
Congrats, you got Rick rolled on your own show.
Thanks, asshole.
So bad that my camera actually cut out. But let's move on to some MLB news to close the show out, kind of. Right here, one of the biggest things is the news that Chris Sale is out for the rest of the season after fracturing his wrist in a bike accident. Yeah. Yep, he fractured his right wrist in a bicycle accident. He underwent an open reduction and internal fixation of a right distal radius fracture, which was performed by Dr. Matthew Liebman in Wesley, Massachusetts. He'll be out for the remainder of the season and is expected to be ready for the start of spring training next year. Big blow to Boston there.
Oh, without a doubt. Yeah.
Another injury note: White Sox hitter Tim Anderson is placed on the IL now. He's going to be out for 6 weeks with a ligament tear in his finger. It's a huge blow to Chicago right there, in that sense. And then the Blue Jays have added a familiar longtime opponent to their outfield, according to MLB.com, and that is they signed Jackie Bradley Jr. to a 1-year contract.
Interesting.
Yes, so those are some big news right there.
Is that Will Smith's character in Semi-Pro? Oh, no, that's not his name. I thought that was his name. My fault. Sorry.
All right. Let's take a look here real quick at the standings. Of course, the American League right now, the best team in pro baseball right now on the AL side of things is, of course, what it looks to be, if this stupid shit would load because this thing sucks. But the only bad thing about looking up standings is that they're not exactly the greatest. Here it is on ESPN.com. You can load it anytime now. I don't like dead air on my show, unless it's Steven falling asleep or something. So in the American League, right now the best team in baseball is, believe it or not, the best team in the American League is the New York Yankees.
Even though they have faltered a little bit over the past number of games.
Yes, they have. They only got a 1-game lead over Houston right now in the American League. With Toronto 9.5 games, 10 game. Oh yeah. I believe it's 9 games behind. Then you've got Tampa Bay, who is only a game and a half out of that. So, and then you got Seattle, Minnesota, Baltimore, Cleveland, White Sox, Boston, all the way back. You know, and then of course Oakland A's. Sorry, hijacker. 41-69.
God.
Not good.
Wow.
The Dodgers are leading the National League right now, 75-33, with the Mets only 5 games behind them, and the Braves 7 games behind them. And St. Louis only 3 games behind the Braves. And then you got Philly, San Diego, and then dead last is Washington, the Nationals, 36-75.
Not surprised.
I mean,
Nope.
when you trade your superstar player, you tend to falter. But even San Diego is starting to falter with Juan Soto in their lineup.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the Padres are 1-5 ever since they acquired Soto.
Yeah, so yeah, it just proves that you can trade like that, but it doesn't always work out in the end for you. So, real quick, since we're gonna move on to one quick MMA note, and I think that'll be it, unless you guys have something else to talk about. Real quick, the official UFC 280 main 3 fights were announced for UFC 280, which is Abu Dhabi, and that'll take place October 22nd on pay-per-view. We got a bantamweight bout between Yan and O'Malley, which that should be a great fight. The World Bantamweight Championship will be on the line. The champion Aljamain Sterling will defend against none other than TJ Dillashaw. And then the main event, Charles Oliveira looking to get his title back as he takes on Machkavev, who's been a great fighter and the current champion right now, interim champion. So the Undisputed Championship will be crowned there. 3 great fights on that card. Many more to be announced coming up soon. No big UFC fights this weekend I'm aware of outside of the usual UFC on ESPN cards. Check those out on ESPN Plus. We can see good old Sprocket there. Sprocket. He's just having a grand old time right now, of course.
Yeah, I had to censor him earlier. He was doing something that we can't have on this show. Extra, that I was jealous. And I was
Great
jealous.
job.
I had to censor him. Yeah, I
Yeah.
had to censor him. So.
Smart job.
Yeah.
All right. Anybody else got anything they want to discuss before we log off the air for today?
I think I'm good.
I think I'm good.
Okay. All right, let's do it. All right, guys. Final thoughts. Let's go with, of course, our boy Randy. Let's do it.
Hey, yeah, great show tonight. Great analysis on the AFC West and East. Those two divisions are just going to be so good, and the AFC in general is going to be so good this year. It's just going to be a wide open, and as always, good hanging out with you guys and laughing, and gets you ready for the rest of the week. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and peace. Have a good week, everyone.
Absolutely. Let's see, Joey, you're up.
Oh, absolutely great show with you guys. It was great having a full main crew. It was awesome having K-Rod back. And this was the perfect show for him to be on because he just hit 4 grand slams in one inning with that absolute tirade of Kevin Durant and Ben Simmons earlier. My Lord, that was impressive. But still, another great show with you guys. Great predictions on the AFC East and AFC West. Already looking forward to next week where we will preview the NFC North and the NFC South. I'm looking forward to previewing those two conferences. And I do want to point out one small little tactic, and that is the fact that I was able to get my fantasy football league started and ramped up this week because I got all 12 of my teams in there. All teams are locked, including, of course, Randy. He's in the league, and me and Kevin are the co-commissioners. So I'm ready for the draft, man. Let's get it going.
No cheating. I mean, yeah, I can't wait. It's going to be fun. No cheating. I mean, that's going to be great. No.
You got to ruin everything, don't you?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Randy
yeah,
down.
that's
Randy down. That's me.
All right, Kevin, there. Let's go, buddy.
Oh man, it was good to be back on the show this week with you guys, talking the NFL previews for the AFC East and West. And man, it was fun talking about Kevin Durant and his bald-headed ass.
You not done yourself today, bud.
I can't even talk about it with a straight face. But no, it was good talking sports with you guys. And like Joey said, I'm ready for fantasy football to start up with that league. And I just want to say, if you guys, anybody out there want to hear a hell of a Hall of Fame speech, and I know I'm a 49er fan, but go listen to Bryant Young. He was inducted the other day, and his Hall of Fame speech was one of the best I've ever heard out of all speeches. Like, just it will touch your hearts. It will make you like just love the game of football. But I just want to say, check that out. And it was good doing the show with you guys. And I hope everybody out here has a great rest of the week and weekend.
Absolutely. And real quick, before we have Steven do his usual stuff, we just want to say also congratulations to all the NFL Pro Hall of Famers. You all are very deserving, and we're glad to see that you were able to get that honor. Congratulations once again from all of us here at our Nation Sports Show. Steven, take us out, brother.
Man,
I do want to say one thing. I want to say one thing real quick. If you're an NFL football fan out there, make sure you check out the full slate of preseason games coming up this Thursday and Friday.
Actually, that is coming up. Randy, Joey, do you know the games by heart? Can you run it down for us?
Give me just a second. I can look it up real quickly. Let me see here. Okay, yeah, we got the Giants and the Patriots on Thursday at 7:00. Then we got the Titans. We got the Titans and the Ravens at 7:30 on Thursday. And then on Friday, we have the Falcons, the Lions kicking off at 6:00. We got the Browns and the Jaguars at 7, the Jets and the Eagles at 7:30. Cardinals and Bengals at 7:30. The Packers and the 49ers kicking off at 8:30 on Friday. And then on Saturday, we got almost a full slate of games highlighted by my Commanders taking on the Panthers at 1 o'clock, Chiefs and the Bears at 1 o'clock, Colts and the Bills at 4. We got the Dolphins and the Bucks at 7:30. The Cowturks taking on the Walmart-owned Denver McDonkeys at 9 o'clock. And of course, the biggest game I think that's going to take place over the weekend is a battle of the LA teams. Yes, the LA Rams and the LA Chargers, Saturday night at 10 o'clock Eastern time. That's going to be one hell of a game. So yeah, a lot of preseason football to catch this weekend. So if you're a football fan, football is back, baby. So have fun watching some football.
Steven, you know the drill.
What a phenomenal show with you guys. And Kevin, you outdid yourself today, my brother, my friend, with that excellent Kevin Durant destroy of a rant. I mean, my goodness. I mean, we couldn't even recover after that because that's how great it was. I mean, just knocked it out of the park, man. And glad to have you back. And before we go out the air, I won't be remiss we didn't bring this gentleman up. Yesterday was Lance Meadows' birthday yesterday. So
Yes,
on behalf of all of us on our Nation Sports Show, we wish Lance a happy birthday. Hope you had a great birthday there, buddy. And can't wait to have you back on the show sometime. And I've been in touch with Lance, and hopefully we can have him on in the next couple of weeks. And that'll be awesome, talking all things football. And as you all know, Lance is a very, very busy man, you know, talking about the world of sports and doing what he does best. And that's covering all the worlds of sports. And again, happy birthday to Lance. And you can also follow us on Twitter at Owen_Sports Show, Facebook.com/Nation Sports Show, and on YouTube.com/Our Nation Sports Show. Also, you can follow the Nation's Corner on Twitter at Nation's Corner. Everywhere else on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, you know the drill. It is at The Nation's Corner. Ezra, wrap it up, my friend.
Absolutely. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for your input. You guys did awesome today. Randy, Kevin, welcome back. It's great having you back on. And it's also thanking everybody who watches the show. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. You know the drill. Don't forget, of course, the Nation's Corner this weekend. Like you said, Saturday, 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific on youtube.com/Nation's Corner. Check it out for all things pro wrestling with the usual crew there as well. So, for Kevin Rory, for Stephen Wyand, for Joseph Thornton, and for Randy Giron, I'm Ezra Vickery, and we will see you right here next week for another great edition of our Nation Sports Show. Take care, everybody, and have a great weekend. Peace.